All right. Hello, everyone. Hey, Olga, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me. And hey, everyone, I hope you will find our session useful, interesting, and fun.
Absolutely, they have to. It's Olga Barrett with me. All right, so let me first start off. Career transformation could be very challenging, especially during these times, right? And having someone who can guide you is a blessing. And with that, let me now introduce my lovely guest, Olga. Olga has 20 plus years of experience in HR management, recruitment, and talent acquisition and career coaching. Olga worked across Eastern, Western Europe, US, and Australia. That's like global. We should just term it as global. Uh, Olga, she helps people get the dream jobs they want and build successful careers they deserve to have. Her mission is to help build transparent and manageable career strategy frameworks that bring you from uncertainty and frustration to financial stability and a job with an impact and career with a meaning. She believes that everyone deserves to be heard, seen, and hired. That's amazing. That's amazing. And before I give the mic to her, let me share two things. I met Olga many months back, and I went on LinkedIn Live video for the first time with where she interviewed me. And she is the one. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, all the changes that are made, everything that you see is done by her. And I must say that I've got lots of compliments where people told me that I have an impressive profile. uh, I'm yet to land in Australia, so that's one of the constraints that I have. And the day I'm gonna land, we're gonna go out for a lovely dinner. That's for sure.
That's a day.
Yep, absolutely. All right, today Olga shares her major transformation that happened to her, in particular changing countries. I can only imagine that. And sorry, leaving the corporate environment and becoming a full-time entrepreneur. So with that, let me welcome Olga once again. Hi, Olga.
Hi, Amit. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited to be here. And yes, the story I wanted to share with you would be about how to make sure that the wind of change brings you into the right direction and you don't get the head cold on the way. Yeah. So, as Amit said, I work helping with people, helping them with their career transformation. And yes, I did pick this area because, like many of our listeners, I went through a number of career transformations over the years, and some were easier than others, and some were not that easy at all. So, yes, I moved countries 6 times. I went from maternity leave into a high profile role, and I went through all the circles of hell of parental guilt and self doubt. I had to reinvent myself on a new market, in a market where nobody knew me. Yeah, and I had to start again as an individual contributor and subject matter expert, and get to the point when I decided to leave a well-paid but very transactional job to become a full-time entrepreneur. And let me tell you, it didn't happen overnight. It actually took me 6 years to complete this transition and figure out what I really want to do with my life. Okay, so story time. When I moved to Australia in 2013, I felt very high and very low at the same time. I was high on my back then recent super important role as a global HR director in a award-winning company, computer gaming, that grew from 200 people to 3,000 in 2 years, and I was actually managing the global transformation project. And I was feeling very low because the year before, I literally didn't have a chance to be a mother I wanted to be. So our son Alex was 2 years old by the time we moved to Australia. And the year before that we spent in Cyprus, I was traveled every second week. I was just too exhausted to do anything. So it was, let's be honest, a very dangerous combination. So from one side, I could talk about performance management transformation programs for hours, how I moved and got all these buy-ins and $1 million budgets, etc., etc. From the other, I didn't feel too good about myself. And how did it influence my career transformation journey? It did a lot, by a lot. So confusion, desire to prove myself, longing to be with my family and still remain a high achiever. That what I was, before the move. And I wish I knew the things that I know now and coach my clients who go through career transformation. I wish I knew these things back then. So, and now 7 years later, as I worked in different businesses across Australia, and I helped, let's be honest, thousands of people to get the jobs they want and build the careers they deserve to have, careers by design, strategic approach to career building. And here I am now. And as you complete your career transformation, depending on how many things are to be changed, this transformation can be easier or more difficult. Yeah. So let's talk about this, I would call it career change compass. Yeah. So when you're changing your industry or your role or company or the type of company or also country, you need to be aware of certain things. And as I said, this transformation might be easier or more difficult depending on how many things you're changing. Yeah, okay, so let's get into the most difficult part. The most difficult part is when you transit or when you transform your career in a new country. No one knows you, things are different, nobody taps you on the shoulder and offers you a new role because you're known for something. And here, I would say at least 12 points that I would like to make today. And for anyone who is thinking of moving countries, tackling different industry or a different role, I believe this advice might be helpful. So, first of all, your mindset is everything. So you have to take special care of your mental health and mental health of the members of your family. Yeah, this is the most important part because everything is here. People sometimes tend to focus a little bit too much on tools when they change career. 70% of my potential clients come to me and say, I need a resume. Yeah, I couldn't pass the interview, but I need a resume. Yeah, or I have no idea what kind of role I want, but I need a resume. Yeah, so resume is not everything. You need to take the whole journey and look at it in a very kind of holistic way. Yeah, and think about it strategically. And when we talk about strategy and the mindset, we need to decide for ourselves what you can control and what you cannot control. And I think Amit is a great example of the person who concentrated on the things he could control during COVID and during all these uncertainties, visa in the pocket, plane ticket, how many times did you change your plane ticket, Amit?
3.
3. Yeah, so instead of burning his calories about the things that Amit couldn't control, Amit concentrated on strategy, on entering the market when nobody knew Amit, 2 years ago. Now he is a voice, he is a face, he is someone who is known on Australian market. And what does it mean? It means that Amit focused on the things that he can control. So what we can control is mindset. Yeah. When you see a role, when you see organization, when you see decision maker, you're already kind of making your mind up, and you know that, yeah, I'm gonna go and get it. Or you think, okay, I just apply just in case, because maybe that will work. Yeah. So mindset is everything. We can control how we communicate and what are the channels that we're choosing and what is the tone we are choosing. Yeah. And that's very important when you come to a new country. So many people, and that's it will be a certain point, but I want to mention it now. So many people don't realize, they don't read the room. They don't realize that approaches, tools, actions that worked in one environment wouldn't work in a different environment. Yeah. And that's actually important. So we can control how we communicate. We can control the quality of information that we provide. Yeah. The tone, the language. We need to dig into the culture of the country, your new country, and understand how it's working. Very brief example. Australia is an egalitarian country. Yeah, which means that we don't have hierarchy, we don't have classes, we don't have like everybody is equal. Yeah. Sometimes people who come from countries where they are more kind of more distinguishing between people with different income, and they're not quite sure what is the temperature of the relationships with the new business acquaintances. They think, oh, the formal language gonna be the safe option, but they forget that Australia is a country that is built by immigrants, which means that we have very low context communication. Yeah, we actually write what we say and what we would say to someone at the barbecue party. Yeah, and if you don't say warm regards to anyone at the party, don't write it to recruiters. Don't say it to hiring managers. Yeah, don't write cover letters starting with in my humble attempt to extend my regards to very formal, pompous language. No, it doesn't work this way. Yeah, so you have to understand the channels and the tone of communication. The depths of research that we do. You need to understand the industry. You need to understand who are the major players and what do these major players promise to their customers, because that's where you get in. Companies are selling something, but selling is serving. Yeah. So when companies are serving their clients, they solve the problem. There are lots of assets now. They solve the problems. So you need to approach your communication, the way you actually build your communication with potential employers from this point of view. How you're gonna solve the problems? Yeah, that's the pivotal point. Everything in job search is very company problem centric. So these are the things we need to remember. And of course, planning, tracking, you need to be very particular and meticulous at what you do. Track everything and focus on organizations and decision makers, not job roles. Amit, I'm going to be making pauses. If you come up with some questions, I'll be happy to. Mm-hmm.
Sure. So no, I was just gonna say you just said such wonderful things. One of the things you just mentioned was like company is serving some customer, and the person who needs the job should be the person who can solve those problems as well. Think it in that way. It's such a profound thought, and that's why and I'm also going to read some comments here, and just for my audience to let you know, Olga puts a lot of short videos, and I used to make sure to listen to it every single day, as I call them as golden nugget. So what she shared right now was one of those golden nuggets. So it's really, and let me share some comments, Olga. It's really wonderful to see people. So Vandana is here. She is very happy, and she also agrees with the mindset part. And that's her last comment.
That's very nice.
Because,
Thank you so much.
yeah,
Excellent. Okay, so thanks everyone, and but guess what? I'm gonna continue.
yeah, please do.
Right. Okay. So planning and tracking is important, and what's even more important is that you bite the piece you can chew and swallow. Yeah. So when so people approach job search and career transformation in two different ways. The first one is reactive approach. There is a job, I tailor my CV a little bit, I send it, I hear nothing back. Then I do it again and again and again and again and again. And every time I do it, and every time I realize that nobody's reading, nobody's listening, I hear nothing. It's like it all goes in the black hole, My self-esteem comes down, 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 down. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe this job that I hate, it's not too bad. I'm paying my bills, Some people, it could be worse, it's COVID times, etc., etc. That's not the attitude we want. When you, I don't know, build a house, you don't tell designers who build this, build whatever you want, it's just like, I just pay you money, No, you want your house to be the way you want. So why don't you let other people build your career? There's no viable reason to do that, So when I talk about focusing on industries and organizations, I want to talk about the criteria you need to establish for yourself why I want to work in these particular companies. And when I say criteria, industry, scale, product, scale of innovations, or scale of operations, their values. Yeah? Do they say diversity and inclusion just because everybody needs to say diversity and inclusion, or their board of directors is full of females, or people with diverse cultural background, or open LGBTQA? Do they walk their talk? Yeah. So, and when you establish this list of companies, you start your manageable framework. Yeah. It means that you can manage, you can basically count, you can measure, and what you can measure, you can manage. So that's the proactive approach. And that's what I encourage you to actually to do. Things that we cannot control. We cannot control the hiring process in the company. As a recruiter and talent acquisition and blah, 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 person who knows all these things happening behind the curtains, I'm going to tell you there are at least 32 reasons why companies might not get back to you, and it has nothing to do with you. Yeah, the budget constraints, the headquarters changed their mind, the hiring manager wanted someone internal, the hiring manager got headhunted, the recruiter got on sick leave, the recruiter got fired, somebody applied for promotion, etc. So 32, has nothing to do with you. So you need to be kind to yourself and make sure that, yeah, I've done everything that I could on my side, and let it go. Sometimes it's just not in your control. Somebody's biases, and that's a very important thing. Actually, I have a bit of I run a cultural awareness training where I talk about 50 unconscious biases in recruitment, and you might not be in a position to tell the recruiter during an interview that the behavior is a bit jerky and most probably they're biased against you, but you can recognize it. And you certainly can recognize it at the workplace and put your foot down and make the person aware that it's not okay. Yeah, so this is important knowledge. What else you cannot control? Yeah, you cannot control what's the hiring process in a company. It can be 5 stages of interview or 10 stages or whatever. You can't say that no, I'm not gonna do it. I mean, it's in your it's up to you whether you want to proceed with the company who that doing stuff like that, but you cannot change it really. So just let it go. Now, when we change stuff, whether it's career transformation or moving countries or just doing something different, I would highly advise you to apply change management framework. to whatever you do. It means that you have a plan, you have success metrics, you understand what success looks like and feels like, you get all the support and resources that you could. They call it get the sponsor, yeah, in the corporate world, yeah. So you get buy-in from your family, from your friends, from, I need help, I need time, I need money, I need resources, help me, yeah. And celebrate small wins. When it comes to the job search, small wins is recruiter look at my LinkedIn profile, yay. Somebody replied to me, yay. I'm getting an interview with the hiring manager, hoo-hoo, champagne. I mean, like, so success is not just getting a job, yeah. It's sometimes just being noticed and getting some feedback, getting some interaction, what's happening. Now, the next bit, and that's the so one, and I'm going to be very passionate about it, so, sit tight. I work with families who are moving from different countries quite a lot. And guess what? I think that I was doing my statistics, and there's around 70% of customers are male. Yeah. And men, or people who identify themselves as male, they get more support and more expensive packages and more services just by default. The family moves to a new country, woman goes and just sits with the kid, with kids, 4 walls. She might not be able to drive. She might not be very fluent in English. And what happens? Men get all the support. They get a job. They start adapting to a new environment. Everything's happening wonderfully for them. What's happened to their wives? They sit at home, actually fully dependent, going crazy with kids, and kids going to school or kindergarten. Actually, kids are adapting better than their mothers. And then these women, after a few years of, let's be honest, being quite miserable, they finally come to me and say, I need a job. My self-esteem is just, nowhere to be seen. I struggle. I don't know what to do. And we discuss how we can help them. And then they go back to their husbands, and husbands say, no, just keep sending CVs. Yeah. So when you see somebody sinking in the water, and they are begging you, give me a life buoy, life-saving circle. You don't tell them, no, swim a little bit more, maybe, maybe you will get out at some point. So please, I beg you, when you think of allocating resources in the family, yeah, so there is certain sum of money for training, for career coaching services, share it equally. Yeah, because unhappy mother, happy wife, happy life. And the happy wife, first of all, unhappy kids, and let's be fair and let's take care of ourselves and our partners as well. Now,
Sorry, I was on mute. No, I was just saying, so true. I mean, it is a family is all the folks inside, that's what the family is. And be it a man or a woman or a child, everyone deserves their own place, and everyone deserves their own respect and recognition. And I agree that if the female is not that happy and, in a way, then yeah, it's going to impact the children and eventually the family as well.
Absolutely, so absolutely. So many people, unfortunately, so many families and couples divorce after moving countries because it's a big pressure. It's a big pressure on relationships, and you have to be kind to yourself, and you have to be kind to your partner. Yeah, so that's important. Now let's talk about personal brand. I'm sure you heard a lot about personal brand, and some people say, oh, personal brand, here we go. All these millennials, all now it's like all TikTok, like, look at me. Look, the world has changed. And it's not about fakers and posers and exposing ourselves and doing all the stuff. No, it's about gig economy. Gig economy has changed relationships between employees and employers. Big deal. So it's not just enough to be good at what you do. You need to be able to accentuate it and promote yourself. And I'll tell you why. I can't really tell you the percentage of the workforce in Australia that work as contractors, but I bet it's a lot of people. Yeah, which means that the contractor is someone who gets, I don't know, $1,000 per day, for 3 months with one gig. And then, of course, ideally, they want another gig, which will be $1,300 for next 6 months. And then, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what they need to do, they need these gigs to be lined up. And how they do it? Oh, they network the hell out of it, They know all the companies, they know all the recruiters, they know all hiring managers, They have them all on the speed dial. And how they promote themselves, they do lots of personal branding on LinkedIn. They have the voice, they have the opinion, they have engagement, they position themselves as experts. And here comes our permanent employee who doesn't want, no. It's also fake, it's also horrible. It's very salesy, people say. People tend to disapprove something they are not good at, And I deal with lots of people who, like, in my industry, construction, for example, it's so it's not all your blah blah fluff. It's very conservative. But guess what? There are contractors in construction, and there are people who position themselves as experts. And that's what you need to do. You can't sit under the rock and hope that someone would find you. Nobody's looking. Nobody is looking. You need to bring yourself out. And contrary to popular belief, it's not so difficult. Very, very kind of short suggestion. You need to understand who are the decision makers in your industry. Recruiters working in agencies. This one category. Next category, recruiters who are working in the companies that you want. Potential hiring managers that are working in the companies you want, and peers, people who work in similar to your roles in the companies you want. And guess what? All these 4 groups of people, you need to identify them. You need to make 4 folders, put them in your favorites, and every second day, open them on LinkedIn and see what they're doing, and engage. Why people are doing stuff what they're doing, that they're promoting themselves. They're building their personal brand, which means that what they want support. Give them support. Recruiters posting some job about that has nothing to do with you. You share this job. Yeah. Hiring manager express an opinion about new innovative technology. Support it. Share it. Comment on it. Your peers doing something similar. Go to town. So that's how you make these cold contacts warmer, and they start recognizing you. And familiarity brings trust, and trust brings sales. Yeah, that's how we position ourselves. So valuable shares, industry news, 10 bad things about agile, 3 worst things about waterfall. 5 years ago, I was this, and now is that. I want to reveal this process. I can give you 87 topics on what to write on LinkedIn without, burning midnight oil. You don't have to be very, very profound. It's not. Many people make this mistake. It's like, oh my God, on LinkedIn they're all so cool and professional. If I write something, most probably they will come and they will criticize and say I know nothing. And I will expose myself. English is not my native language. I'll make mistakes. They will laugh at me. All the irrational fears. The fact is that people don't care generally. Yeah, they are not there to destroy your brand. They're there to promote their own brand. Yeah, and criticizing something doesn't really, add up well with promoting their brand. Let's be honest. So don't be afraid. Many people think that, oh my God, I need to come up with something really profound. And they write an article for 2 months, and then they rewrite it for another month. and then they proofread it, and then they finally, the rocket went off, and they get zero engagement, and they're like, oh, your LinkedIn sucks, it doesn't work, I'm out. It didn't help me. Now, LinkedIn works, but you don't have to, kind of throw the whole casserole of soup of your knowledge on people. Yeah, just little snippets, little nuggets, here and there. But little bit, teaspoon, but regularly. And remember, hashtags is your way for people who are interested in what you're interested in to connect with you. It's like if there are two applications talking between each other, there is like unique, like identifying code between some entries, two entities. Yeah, that's what hashtag is actually. Yeah, so gig economy, get out and about, let people see your face, because that's how you get familiar to them, and that's how it actually builds trust. Right now, what else?
Wow.
Of course, build relations. Yeah, it's very important to build relations. Be strategic in your job search. Celebrate small wins. Control your mindset. Think positively. Yeah, be kind to yourself. Target companies and people, not job roles. Be prepared that tools and approaches that worked before in the previous environment wouldn't work. The biggest problem, people coming from overseas, is that, okay, I used to be very assertive and a little bit pushy because I'm a female in IT, for example. Yeah. And that's how I got to the point that Australian government gave me permanent residence visa. Yeah. Why would I change my ways here? That's what brought me to a certain, point. Why would I change my ways? You need to change your ways. You need to read the room. You need to see how people are interacting here. Yeah. And tailor, your ways accordingly. That would be my advice. Right. Okay. So I think that these are all the pieces of suggestions I'm happy to share today. If you want more, you know where to find me. And if you have any questions, if our audience have questions, I'm here to
Sure. Sure. That was fantastic. First of all, let me thank all the viewers and let me thank few people who have been commenting. So it's Vandana,
awesome.
Jayant, and Ishan and Aditya Tiwari. So thank you very much, guys, for your comments. And I've shared all the comments, and I'm sure Olga was reading them while she was discussing it as well. Now, just one more thing. Olga gave a lot of advice, right from how when you enter into before even you enter into a new country, and what all needs to be done. All right, so I'm just saying this again, and I'm going to mention that on the message is that do visit this video, because this is going to be like a end-to-end thing for someone who needs to get a grasp of what should be done. I've also mentioned in the comments, in the introduction of this video, in all the places, that's Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, Olga's website. And I will request Olga, if whenever you get chance, please add all the other details so that people can connect with you and, get in touch with you if they need any assistance.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Amit.
Great.
Excellent. One more thing that I wanted to add. Nobody is interested in job descriptions. Nobody is interested in job descriptions. Even people who are writing job descriptions are not interested in job descriptions. So what people are interested in is transformation. When you go to bed and you think, oh my God, I really need to relax, what I'm going to read? Do you read instructions to your vacuum cleaner or do you read the book? Yeah. So stories is the only thing nowadays that manage to keep people attention. The only way is to put a person like more or less steal, and let them focus on something. Is a story, is a movie, is, and all great stories are about transformation. And that's what people want to know. They don't want, like, if I'm a data analyst and I go on the job board and I read the job ad for a data analyst, and the first thing they said, we need you to analyze data. It's like, really? Oh my God. And I was thinking that I would be furnishing, I don't know, like, decorating Christmas trees. Of course I'm going to be analyzing data. I'm a bloody data analyst. So that's obvious. Don't write obvious things. Yeah? But you need to write how you took something in this business process or in this context or in this project, and you applied tools, methodologies, technologies, resources. You interacted with stakeholders, cross-functional teams, clients, peers, whoever else, and that's what happened. That was the result, or that was the achievement, or that was the purpose. Sometimes we don't have an achievement, but we always have a purpose. Yeah. So don't write job descriptions. Don't copy-paste job descriptions in your CVs. Write about how you impacted things and how you transform things. So that would be my final advice for today.
Awesome. That's absolutely right, and that's precisely the reason I have the show as well, because stories impact. Period. That's the point. And I've learned it very well. And again, from today, I can say that stories do impact. All right. So, Olga, thank you very much for your time. And thank you for sharing, I will say, a bag of golden nuggets today, not just one or two. It's loaded. This whole session was loaded with wisdom, knowledge, tips, and a lot of things. And I'm sure people are going to love it. And for all my viewers, if you need to, I'll again say this, if you need to get in touch with Olga, if you want to see one of the things, like, how she helps to build a LinkedIn profile and other things, you can go and visit my profile. That's as an example. Go to her website. There are a lot of other information. And, ping her. That's the most important. That's what I did. At least start the conversation. And then you can see how, things will move forward.
Absolutely.
So do that. Go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you, Amit. And if you want to do things right, watch Amit and what Amit is doing. Nobody knew about Amit, I don't know, year and a half back, year and a half in Australia. Now Amit, the voice, is a voice on Australian LinkedIn. Amit gets lots of engagement. He is known for something, and that's important. So I'm sure when Amit comes to Australia, well, hopefully it will be the job search, the career transformation will happen really fast.
Yep. Thank you very much. Thank
you so much, everyone.
And yeah, sorry, just the last thing. And if you want to share your story and create impact to the world, just ping me. I have my connection there mentioned as well. And Olga's website is there. She will put all the comments soon after this meeting.
Excellent.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone. And Olga, thanks once again.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you for having me. And thank you, everyone, for your comments. And happy to talk to you offline or online, wherever you want. Okay. Sure. Have a good one. And bye. See you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Thank you.